Hey, this is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if you are new, welcome to you as well. This is another month of 5 under 5. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's get into the video. Now for this one, I'm using this wall shelf and it comes with two, and this is $1.25, and you will see how I use this. So I'm setting one aside, but before I did that, I sanded them down and then applied some Waverly Antique wax, watered down just a little bit because I didn't want it too dark. I applied it with the brush and then used a baby wipe to wipe off or to spread it a little bit more. Once that dried, I applied some Mod Podge on both the front and the back, or wherever you want to call it, whether the two sides or the front and the back. Then I dried that. I had this tile decal from another project and this was remaining, so here I am just applying what was left and then used the utility knife and cut off the excess, and then a little piece needed to cover that part, so I applied that and then cut that off, or cut off the excess. So I took my embossing tool and heated that up just so I could pierce the tile to have it open. Now you can use anything to reopen or to open those holes. I use the embossing tool because I needed to pierce the tile. And then I took 4 of these beads that I had in my stash and cut the string in 2 and then applied some hot glue at the tip just so I could string it through the beads and through the hole. Once I got that done, I then put this ring on. I'll just let you watch to see what I'm doing rather than me trying to narrate. Now I have them all, the ends all strung through the holes. I applied the beads and then knotted the end. And adding the bead here is just, well, not just, I did that for decorative purposes as well as to keep the knot in place so that it doesn't slip off if I add too much weight on whatever I'm going to be putting on there. The bead helps to keep it in place. Now this 2-piece set is $1.25. I only used one, so what would you call that? Half the price, right? Now to keep the ring from moving around, I took a piece of butcher's twine, wrapped that around and glued it down, and we're done. Now, like I said, this is 5 under 5, hosted by Missy from Crafty Cove DIY and Emily from Farm Charm Chic. And this month, our guest host is Annalie from Annalie Ashby DIY. I love these ladies so much. This is one of my favorite challenge to participate in. I will leave links to their channels in the description box below, so make sure you check them out as soon as you're done watching my video. Alright, so we're on to DIY number 2. This is one of those farmhouse windows from Dollar Tree, $1.25. And that harvest sign I had in my stash, so that's free. So I removed the metal piece from the window and then removed the other piece that was beneath. Then I measured the plaque or sign evenly and then used the X-Acto knife and cut that in 2. Now the window has some little tacks, so you have to be very careful when you're removing that. And then I took the side panel from the wooden piece there that I cut and glued that back on. And then I'm using some caulking. Now that's all I had in hand at the time. I ended up having to use some of my spackle, and you'll see that in the end. I then gave it 2 coats of the plaster and let it dry properly. I then took a piece of this wired jute cord from Dollar Tree and some boxwood pick, and I'm just trimming down little pieces of the pick and I'm making a wreath. I think Emily was the first person I saw who did this, and I thought it looked so cute, so I decided to try it. So I just snipped off little pieces and glued them down in one direction, and here we have our wreath. I love it. And wherever needed a little bit more, I just snipped off some pieces, some other pieces, and glued those down. Now our wreath is done. I had used the tip of the chippy brush to just brush that out on the window pane, so it is looking a little darker. And then I went over that with some Mod Podge. I then took a piece of the jute and wrapped around the two sides. And now I'm gluing on the wreath. And after I glued that on, I took one of my jute bow, trimmed down the ends, and glued that in the middle. Now I'm going to be putting the little planter on, so I took some wood glue as well as hot glue, and I glued that down on there. I left it over a couple of days to dry properly, and so now I'm ready to fill in the planter. So I took a piece of flower foam, cut that down, and then trimmed down some little bits of baby's breath that I had. 2 pieces of the boxwood pick, place those on the sides, and then just fill in the middle with the baby's breath. Now I wanted to give it a pop of color, so I took this little yellow flowers. I think it is hydrangea, not sure, but anyway, I thought it would look so cute right in the middle there, so I just placed that in there, and I thought I was done. These are some little roses that I made from air-dried clay from Dollar Tree, and I painted them with these colors. 2 are apple barrel and 1 folk art, and I formed them in a mold that I got from Amazon. Left those over a couple of days to dry, and when they dried, I painted them, and here I am now gluing them on, and I think those are so cute. Now I thought that the wreath needed something else, so I found a piece of craft stick, stuck that in the middle, and I took the welcome and one of these farmhouse sticker pack. I placed that there, and this is on its way to being complete. Now I needed to add back the string for hanging, and I strung that to the front, measured it in a way where it wouldn't show when it's hanging, tied the ends, and then I had small wooden bead. I painted that white, and I'm using that to cover up the knot on the jute. And now this is done. Let me know what you think. This is a wooden crate. I took this and I sanded it down with the sanding block just to have smooth edges, and I took 4 wooden beads that I had in my stash, and I used some hot glue for quick hold and wood glue for a longer lasting hold. So if you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. So now that is done, I use some Waverly Antique Wax to stain the outside and the inside, and some Waverly chalk paint in celery to do the sides, mixed with a little acrylic white paint. And now that that is done, I took a sheet of this napkin that I had, just a quarter of it, 1 ply, or 1 side, or 1 corner. And here I'm just measuring how I wanted that to look. I removed the back ply, and while I was gonna do the Mod Podge for the napkin, I decided to just do everything, so I applied some right around and the bottom as well. Dried the sides just a little bit, and then I placed the napkin down and used the heat press to just reactivate the Mod Podge and secure that. And then I remembered that I did not take off the sides or the edges. So that's what I'm doing with a little water on the paintbrush. I remove that, and now we're ready to go again. So once I activated or reactivated that, I then use the sanding block to remove the excess and smooth that out. And then applied some more Mod Podge over that to seal everything. And I did that for both sides. For DIY number 4, I took the other plank that I used, the first one, and I'm using what was left from the paint, just mixing up a little bit more, and I'm going to paint that. But as I started painting, I remembered that I needed to cover 2 of the holes, so I took some spackle and covered those holes, and then returned to painting the wood. And I'm not painting it heavy, I'm just using up what I had left. And this is a sticker pack wall decal from Dollar Tree, and I removed that one that looked just close enough to the color paint on the wood. Place that there, and then went over it with some Mod Podge. I then took a piece of jute, wrapped that at the bottom corner, maybe 3 times, and then tack it down at the back. And this is basically done. I replaced, or I used a piece of jute, strung that at the front, and used 2 small beads to secure the knots, and that's gonna be for hanging. Had a little jute bow. I took my lighter and just burned off the fuzzies from the jute, then trimmed down the edges of a little jute bow, burned those off again, and glued that on the top, and this one is done. Simple, easy, less than $1.25. Now for DIY number 5, this one I had done in a previous DIY, but I just never get to publish it on any of my videos. And this is a 2-side or a 2-for-1. This side is already done, already completed. I am just going to jazz this up a little bit. I took some I think this is some brown paint. Right, I think this is brown paint. So I applied some brown paint to just cover the natural part. I diluted that a little bit, and then use a baby wipe to wipe it off, going into the little creases, being very careful not to mess up the flower because I want to keep that as is. And then I flipped it over, and what was remaining of the diluted paint, I applied that to this part. And I'm giving it 1 coat, stroking in a downward motion because I want it to keep everything flowing in one direction. And then that I dried it. And to jazz this up a little bit, I am taking a corner from this calendar page. Now you guys know that I love these flower calendar sheets. They are so beautiful. So I place that down, use my finger to crease the edges. And to connect with me outside of YouTube, check my link tree for where else you can find me, and that is in my description box below. And then I applied some Mod Podge, place that down, and then use my heat press to reactivate that. And then I'm going to take the sanding block and sand off the excess. Now I decided I needed to give it some more finesse. So I took the furniture marker and I'm making stitch lines all around the edge. And then when I was done with that and it dried properly, I went over now with some Mod Podge to seal everything. And now it's time to embellish. This is daisy ribbon that I had in my stash. Now I took a small piece and I'm just wrapping that around the neck of the shovel. Crisscross that a little bit, cut that off, tack it down with some hot glue. And if you notice, my nail polish is different. That's because I did this one for some weeks ago. Now I'm going in with welcome word from the Dollar Tree transfer stickers. And I rubbed that on. Took one of my jute bows and glued that right on top of the daisy ribbon. And for the other side, I took one of these daisies 3D stickers from Dollar Tree and I placed that in the middle right there. And if you notice, it is balancing out the little daisy ribbon that's peeking out at the top. And then I added back the string for hanging, and this is done. And now for the final reveal. There they are, guys. I love them. This little tray is so cute. But let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section down below. I love this one. This one I believe is my favorite. I am surprised at how well this one turned out. And you can use it as a shelf sitter or you can hang it on the wall. It is just absolutely beautiful. Guys, don't forget to check out the playlist, the host channels in the description box below. I want to thank Emily and Missy who host this amazing playlist every month, and for all the other talented crafters who have joined each month. Don't forget to check them out as well, and be sure to like the videos, comment on the videos, and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. We truly enjoy bringing you budget-friendly DIYs and ideas of how you can take just simple little crafts and recreate or create decor for your homes. And if you love budget-friendly content like this, I suggest this video right here or this playlist. My next video will be on Friday. So see you then and stay safe until next time. Bye.